Howdy folks, we're going to talk about how we can debug our PHP applications finally and not have to rely on trying to echo everything out. So when you first just try and put a breakpoint in here and you run it with debug mode, it's going to error out at you. Yeah, I got to allow access here. Let's see. It should just fail. Here's this waiting for connection netbugs X Debug. So we actually use this X Debug module here that we're going to take a look at in a second once this fails out. It should give us some suggestions here after it times out, or if we just get bored of waiting and hit stop here, it says, oh hey, no connection was found, maybe it's not installed. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to set up this stuff here and we're going to use xdebug version 3. So we're going to click xdebug version 3, and we need to go and edit our Php Config File to do this here. So if you go back to XAMPP and you go to your config and Php Ini, we'll open the Php Ini file here, and we need to add in this stuff here. So they've got a couple options out here. So if you look for xdebug, no, it doesn't find it at all. Hang on, where did it go? Xdebug. Is it just debug? Yep, okay, that was the one I wanted. This report Zen debug on. No, it's in there, but that's not doing what we want. Okay, so nothing in here. So we're gonna need to go add some config here. So in the PHP file, I'm going to add it to the top here, and this is not enough though, unfortunately. So what we need to do, we need to go to our browser and look up Php X Debug here, and it's actually really helpful. It walks you through all the things you need to do. So to go and install it, you click the install link here, and it says, okay, we want to install on Windows. It says, okay, follow these instructions. And the instructions give you the installation wizard. It says, go take all of your PHP info and paste it in here. Well, the PHP info we can find on the admin page for our dashboard here. There's a little link for PHP info. This gives you all the things. So you just Control A to grab everything, Control C for copy, come on back, Control V for paste, and analyze. It says, oh, okay, I know everything about your PHP install. This is the file that you need. And then what you need to do is you need to go and update your Php Ini file and add the Zend extension xdebug line. Okay, sure. So again, we'll add that one in. Zend extension xdebug. We added in some other information for NetBeans here. We're going to download this file, copy it to the XAMPP PHP externals directory, and rename it PHP X Debug. A bunch of steps here, but not too bad. So download the file, and yes, I want to keep the file here. We don't want to delete it. Yes, we trust it anyway. Yes, we want to keep it. Generally, downloading DLLs is a little bit iffy here, but we should be in pretty good shape. So I'm going to cut this one, and I'm going to go to my C:\xampp, the PHP directory, the external directory here, and paste it in. And then I need to rename it here, right? So I'm going to do F2 for rename, and it wanted it to be named Php X Debug DLL. So take off all this extra version info stuff there and just be Php X Debug DLL. So we've copied it in. Okay, we've updated our Php Ini file. Great, so we've got the stuff from NetBeans, we got the stuff from xdebug that I wanted here, and then it says restart Apache. So we'll stop and start, restart the web server. Now what's really cool here, if you come back to your PHP info page, if you just search now for xdebug, nothing shows up. But once you've added it in here and you refresh the page and you search xdebug, you get, hey, look, we're using xdebug. And there's a whole xdebug section here showing you, hey, we have the step debugger enabled here. We're going to use the NetBeans xdebug IDE key, and here's all sorts of cool values you can give it if you wanted to. But if you see this in your PHP info, it means, hey, it seems to be working here. It's pretty cool. So let's give it a shot. So I'm going to come back. I've got my breakpoint here at line 7, and I'm going to try running debug mode again. Now, the funny thing about debug mode, by default, it wants to stop at the very first thing it does here. So in the debug menu, there's an option in here. Where is it? In here for... It might be under our options here for debugging. Where did it go here? PHP debugging, the stop at first line option here. So if you turn that off, it won't do that anymore for you, which is nice. So then you can just say, I want to continue here, we'll continue. We should get the page to load, and you'll notice it has this extra info here, this xdebug session start that needs that information to know, hey, we want it to run in debug mode. So now when I go to stocks, it looks like it just spins forever, but in NetBeans now it's actually ready for us to run. So we can go, and now we can step through and we can see all of our variables like we could before. What are the value of these things? So what is the value of action? Well, it's empty. What's the value of symbol? Oh, it's empty. Okay. What's the value of current price? So it's empty. Well, I didn't send any of these things, so none of those are true. I can step through, step through, step through. I can go ahead and list stocks. So if I want to step into, I can step into the list stocks function, and we can watch all these things happen. So I can see my query, I can see the statements, I can execute the statement, and I can see the stocks variable. So this is an array here, and each of those is another array inside of it. Again, where you can get things out by name here. So this is the symbol or by index. Again, I don't recommend the index. Name is probably always your better bet here. You can see all the results here for symbol, for name, for price, and for the ID as well. So you can see all of that information. This is a two-dimensional list essentially here, two-dimensional array. And we'll just continue on here. And it looks like we are successfully debugging. So a couple steps, right? You need to edit the Php Ini file. That was from config Php Ini, add the stuff that NetBeans wanted, then go and Google for the xdebug Windows installer, go to the xdebug wizard, paste in your PHP info, which you get from the admin page for Apache, go to the PHP info tab, just copy it all in, paste it in, download the file, follow those directions, add in one more line to Php Ini, and restart, and you should be off to the races. So if you have any trouble, let me know. Happy to help get this going for you folks. And it will be super helpful to be able to actually debug your PHP applications from here on out. Thanks, folks.